Hey guys, it's Merrick, and I've got another gameplay commentary here today. This one I'm playing Planetside on NC using the Godsaw. Little backstory, I was actually on TR right before I jumped over, and every fight was giga overpopped, so I came over to NC because they were at like a 30% global pop. And honestly, it's kind of reflected in what you're going to see this whole time. Like I said though, I'm running the Godsaw. Notable differences from my standard here is that I'm just running the air lock-on, which is one of the things I run anyway. I'm also already running flak armor because knowing that TR was overpopped, I knew exactly what the fuck I'd be walking into. At least that was the plan. In practice, I actually managed to stay inside and away from vehicles pretty well, so I probably could have gotten away with ASC or even nade bandolier here or something else potentially, but in general, based on what I knew, flak armor was absolutely the correct choice. So, getting straight into it, I head to the underground Econom Biolab, and turns out the point's already over. We're not invited to the fight anymore. So I just spend a few seconds here, working on my aim. I do pick up a few kills here to get a good start to this session, but quickly we actually manage to push out, get wiped, and then start a fight for real at the next base. Pretty much, I'm hoping that we can actually manage to get some kind of a footing, but that never really manifests, so I wind up literally just sitting here bullying people that are licking what they believe to be a blueberry-flavored spawn room window. And it was about this point they started complaining in Yelp chat that nobody was coming out of the spawn room to play, with which I responded I would love to come out and fight, just they were too busy being interested in blueberry flavored things. But when I finish typing, there's actually a little bit of room to move around, so I do push out and try to get some more kills. I believe they fell off a little bit, precisely because to actually wind up getting any kills here, it would be better for them to lure us out versus just have us redeploy in the room. Or it was random chance, who knows? I take a peek, get killed by somebody a little wider off that could see my shoulder, and in an act of pure autopilot, I take a res that I have no business taking, and panic and just die for free again. So we are pushed back to Econom Garrison, which actually just sustains the entire rest of this video. The fight was so fucking savage. It was quite fun, actually. But it wouldn't be a day in Planetside if I didn't take an aggressive spawn that I'm trying to get into a fight quickly and just die for free as the spawn is completely overrun. I respawn on the Ant thinking that we can push over the Sunderer, and we do manage to do so, but then we just get air to grounded and the Ant goes away too. So I get a hard spawn on Econom Garrison and run all the way inside, but there's a ton of pressure on this building, there's a ton of vehicles outside, so I'm just trying to figure out exactly how aggressive the pressure is, where it's at, and take up a defensive angle that can deal with it. I get a lucky spot on somebody on the bridge and get a good angle on him, and then I'm able to react to somebody coming across the bridge on my end. I get both of them cleaned up, and I don't see anybody else, and as I go to rotate off a little bit, I see someone down below. I manage to get the pickup on them as well, and then as I return to my position, I try to peek that left bridge again and get picked off by somebody who's actually prepared for me this time. Boy, I wish I could see. Respawning after my seizure from trying to shoot through all of that flashing, I'm still having some lingering effects as I just kind of whiff a bunch of shots on people nearby me, but I do get a slightly decent return before having to run back out of spawn. At this point, shit's absolutely hitting the fan, and I don't think I'm making it across the field, so I try to apply some pressure to the enemy air support, and I get flanked by some random asshole. Getting astronomically lucky, I managed to survive that encounter, and we were able to push across the field and make an entry into the next building again. Although we're fighting for the building on our side of the road, it's a good indication that we're getting a footing again and that we might actually be able to push across and take both sides of the building. It's absolutely chaotic, and I duck under the stairs to reload, and though I thought there was a small lull in pressure, as soon as I get back to the top, it's very obvious that TR is still aggressively trying to push across these bridges. With the res going off, I immediately swapped from my pistol to my knife, expecting an immense amount of pressure, but it seems they're not actually following up on it, and all I can hear is the burr of Maxes trying to cross this bridge right now. So I do what I can to try to stop it. I don't wind up killing it, but me and the other guys throwing rockets, between all of us that do hit, we are able to push the Max back and get control of this bridge again. Which means the next order of business is pushing across the bridge that they just came across and died on to get to their side of the building. Surely it won't work out the same way, right? I'm able to pick up a few TR running around the outskirts of the building, but for the most part, we actually get into the other side of it relatively unmolested.
Keep rolling. You've got this.
Making it into their side of the building, there's a bit of a weird situation where somebody reses the instant I look away, but I'm able to survive that. I push down the stairs and try to clear the rest of the building. I definitely planned to clear the building. I definitely wasn't just trying to find somewhere to heal. And I promise you, if you go look back in the VOD, I'm definitely not lying to you, and I definitely didn't have a med kit in my hand every time somebody looked at me. Please stop. Oh, please stop! Expertly keeping my calm, I take cover in the cubby and I try to reload and get myself ready for the next push. Oh, I'm in danger. This is how it ends, boys. It was a... When the push doesn't materialize, but there's people leaking in the other side of the building, I decide to take a peek out this doorway, and I see a good opportunity for a handful of kills. Unfortunately, I miss all of it, but then I get super greedy and re-peek for absolutely no reason. I am able to get a freebie on my way back, but then it's once more into the breach and we go back into that hellhole that was holding that forward building. I take up a position next to the staircase, and while holding that doorway I'm able to deal a bunch of damage, but I don't actually get any finishing blows for a little while until they start to breach in. From there, I'm trying to balance my greed and my positioning. The farther out I am from the staircase, the more likely I am to see somebody first and get a kill. But the farther away I am from the staircase, the more likely I am to die before I can get back to cover, or the more likely somebody is to swing close and get a kill on me before I can do anything about it. After I reload and try to take another fight with these guys, it looks like we've actually been able to clear out the lobby down here, and I try to rotate off to another point. Because the only thing that I can actually see is a mana turret, and while I have a good angle, I know damn well I'm going to get myself killed trying to take that shot right now. But for a little while, there's a lull in pressure, and while there's still a whole lot of hate outside, there's not actually a whole lot of attempts to breach in, and the attempts that are made are very small and only one or two people at a time making an attempt. When they do decide to push, it is when I am the least prepared. I try to make do with what I can, run out of bullets because I was not even paying attention to it, and I panic quietly and internally, expecting to die before I finish this reload. But our teammate is actually able to save up from a light assault coming around the corner, and as I peek towards the main lobby, it doesn't look completely overrun. This back angle, though, looks like it has people coming in, because that's what almost just killed me, so I swing around to hold this door, and I find a lot of people waiting there to fight me. I'm able to slow the push for a little bit, but I'm absolutely terrified to reload, and right as I go up to try to get one more, they try to push right then, and in-game me will let you know that I'm so fucked! And you can't have a day in Planetside without dying to a vehicle farmer, so... But making it back to the western front of Ickenum, they actually seem to have control over the first floor, and it is just not improving. I try to take some tight angles, and once I don't actually see anybody to take shots on, I decide to drop down. This fight and push actually wound up going a little better than I thought, but of course, tanks. On the run back, I get another free pickup outside, and then my frames are actually just so inconsistent and variable, my input is so delayed and such, that I actually think I have my game on windowed full screen instead of true full screen. But this is actually just a massive fight, and there's a ton of people here. Getting back into the western building, I actually managed to get a whole bunch of shots off, but I didn't get any kills because there's a whole lot of people here, so the chances of me actually getting the kills aren't super high. But they get another really large push coming in, headed by a max, so I try to work to repel some of it. As we push back into hell, or lobby depending on what call it to use, it looks like we're gaining a hold of the building yet again pretty quickly. So, when I don't see anybody here, I then rotate back off towards the other door. Coming out this other door, the smoke that they dropped winds up working out pretty well in my favor. I can get free shots on a few people that have their overshields on, so are visible through the fucking smoke, but what also happens is that people that are trying to push my side of the building have to walk out of the smoke and give me a little bit more time to respond to them. If they'd come out in a large group, it wouldn't have mattered and they would have run me over, but they were trickling out just enough and their targets were dispersed just enough that I was able to sneak through, get a few kills, and hold this position still. I actually throw here that I don't need to. There's no smoke when I peek out, and there's actually a Sunderer that's already shooting at this doorway, so taking that shot is a very bad decision. Not to mention the smoke actually isn't in the same position, so it's not actually providing me the same amount of cover as it was before. So, running back to the building, I don't actually want to drop down in that doorway because there was both a Prowler and a Sunderer looking at it, so I try to find some off angles to get a few kills here, and once I find one or two, it seems like the pressure's kind of wearing off, so I try to push up with the steam. We push up to the door and try to catch this next push coming in, and if you've ever needed confirmation, this is official confirmation that when this kind of thing happens and there's an enemy that you're shooting at, just keep shooting and say fuck your teammate. They're just there to get in your way anyway. Also, I've rewound this like 16 times myself. There's no reason for me to take this res here besides that I'm greedy and I think the fight's going to end soon. But in this instance it works out, as I do manage to skate away without dying. I get to the window here and I get a few picks out of there for free, and then seeing that the pressure is drastically dropping, we actually manage a counter push out towards where their Sunderer is. I'm not in the greatest position considering I'm out in the middle of the field, as it's shown by the fact that I have to shuffle like a madman in a second here, but we wind up getting a push out for the Sunderer to end this video with 57 kills in 26 minutes. With the exception of the tank deaths, this was an incredibly fun fight that I enjoyed a whole hell of a lot. I hope you guys were able to get something from this video. Let me know what you do like, let me know what you don't like, let me know what you guys think so I can improve these going forward. Thank you for your support, and I'll see you guys next time.